Hey, I have been waiting a very long time for this episode, and I am not claiming patience as a virtue in my life at all, but I have to tell you, I've been very patient about this. And so finally, the time has come, and I'm so excited. This is about the power of three. Wait till you hear what I'm going to share with you. Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. The first time that I learned about this was early on in my career of getting paid for doing psychic work, soul work, and all this metaphysical stuff that I do, this rather mystical stuff. I had a call from someone who had been working with my then boyfriend, and my then boyfriend was bragging how he hid an earring in the house, and I came into the house and went right to where the earring was hidden. And he was always blown away and trying to trick me with like what my psychic skills could do. But anyway, he had told her about the earring thing. And so she called my office saying, listen, I have a question for you. Can you locate my brother? I have this estranged brother. He's not been in contact with the family for, I don't know, I think it was like 20 years or something, a very long time. And my immediate thought was, oh, I don't want to do this. It didn't feel like I needed to do it, or there was some disconnect about doing it. Like probably because when she'd said it, I thought she was saying, tell me that he's in, El Paso, Texas or something. And I wasn't getting that was going to be what it was. So I said, just a minute. And I tuned into Spirit at the same time she was on the phone. And I asked Spirit, can we do this? Can you do this? And they were like, yeah, we can do anything. And I'm like, okay, great. So I got back on the phone with her and I said, yeah, listen, I can do something, but I'm not going to do what you're thinking. And then I proceeded to tell her what Spirit was telling me. I was like, okay, listen, this is what I'm getting. I am going to go through the ethers and I'm going to tell your brother to call you. How's that? I'm going to tell him to call you and then he's going to call you. But I'm getting that I have to do it in over 3 days, like 3 days in a row. I have to tune into your brother to say, call your sister, call your sister. And I'm telling you out loud because I'm going to teach you this and you're going to be doing the same. She's like, do you need his picture? Do you need his name? I'm like, no. I don't need any of that. Spirit knows who he is. I'm just going to tune up through the spirit realm down to your brother, wherever he is, and say, call home, call your sister. Well, wouldn't you know? We hung up and I did it for 3 days. It was nothing, like really quick. Like each day I was like, okay, call your sister, call your sister. That was it. Like nothing. Didn't go into a big meditation. Did not. Just had the intention of going up through the sky and the ethers and connecting with the brother. And wouldn't you know, she called me 3 days later and said, oh my gosh, he called out of the blue. And I was like, it wasn't really out of the blue. And I was like, wow, that was cool. I was kind of floored too, but I have to admit that I don't know, after a while, I'm not so floored by the mysticism, by the miraculous. If Spirit says they can do it, I'm like, all right, good. How do we do it? What do we do? I don't know why it's the three, but they're just like, it's the three. So what I did was I just made a link from my soul to his soul. And it didn't matter that I didn't know where he was or what he looked like or what his name was or anything, because it is part of, the awareness of the cosmic consciousness that we are all connected. And so it doesn't matter where the soul is. We can talk to them and link to them. The same is true when working with loved ones that have passed. Because we have free will, they can only kind of intervene on our life if we ask them. And so they can definitely warn us of things, right? Hopefully, if we're paying attention to the subtle cues or the not so subtle cues, we'll be tuned in and listen and get it and move in the warning. Do you remember my, if you're going to pass the truck, go now, go fast now, that kind of warning. But otherwise, we can turn to them and ask them to help in our lives, especially in dealing with other people. And I find that the best way to do that is, again, this 3 days in a row, asking the loved one on the other side. It's kind of like my dad's like, yeah, nag them, stay after us, and we'll be on it. And I'm like, okay, Dad, thanks. Yeah, he says she does it to me all the time. Thanks, Dad. I really do. I turn to my dad all the time, like, Dad, can you do this? Can you do this? But anyway, the power of three also works with the loved ones that have crossed. Ask them 3 days in a row and see how it goes. Now, of course, just remember when you ask them to do something, they're also dealing with the other person's free will. And so that may or may not occur. But something can at least get instilled in the psychic airways, if you will. Hey, I want to tell you about my book, Some Dogs Talk. It teaches animal communication among the pages of paranormal, non creepy fiction. But the stories of animal communication are actually based on a lot of personal experiences that I went through. It is designed to help the reader navigate their own experiences of all the different ways that we can communicate, just with animals and our furry friends, but with others. I think you'll enjoy it. Get your copy today. Here's the third example of how I use the power of three in my life, and I find it fabulous. When uncovering the greater truth, ask 3 times and you'll get 3 different answers. All are true, but the further you go, the deeper and more clear the truth will be for you. So, like, all of a sudden, when you're having something happen in your life where you're unhappy, unsettled, procrastinating, something's not going right. First of all, I want to remind you that is a sign, whoop, 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 that you are out of alignment with the highest good and the higher frequencies, because the higher frequencies are all about light and love and things going well and joy and happiness and laughter and giggles and all that good stuff. So when you're not feeling comfortable, is out of alignment. And so that's when I would encourage you to use the power of three to uncover the greater truth. So let's say, like, you're procrastinating, and what you would do then is to recognize that you're procrastinating because something's coming up that you, for whatever reason, don't want to do what you're meant to do. And so you sit down with yourself or talk yourself through it and ask yourself, what's coming up for you? Why are you procrastinating? And see what comes out. You know me, I always like to journal, because also it might be like so good that you want to remember what you got, right? This is consciousness shifting right here and now. So write down what comes up for you and then honor that as true. And then ask again, why are you procrastinating? And then allow a different answer to bubble up and read that through and honor that as true. And then what happens is you're slowly letting your guard down. Then ask again, why are you procrastinating? Kind of like, why are you really doing it? And see what comes up. The cool thing about this is it really does get you to another level of reality check. I've used this with clients when they've come with problems or issues that they just can't seem to process in their life. And so I've used it in a mix of my therapies, hands-on healing, channeled messages, reads, psychic reads on the soul and what's happening in the chakras. And sometimes what spirit tells me is use the power of three to get to the greater truth. And so that is something I encourage you to give a try. See how it goes for you. In any of these situations, I always remember to give thanks. I am always so grateful. I know I don't work alone. I know I get a lot of help from spirit. And even if it's just my higher self working, which is a beautiful thing, to bring me to enlightened awareness, I always say thank you. So it goes without saying. So there you have it. That's how I use the power of three. And I only really do it when these 3 situations, like I just revealed to you, are happening. Or also if spirit says, use the power of three. And it could mean 3 days in a row, look at it 3 times, ask yourself 3 times, whatever it is. When they say the power of three, I know that that's what they're referring to. So I encourage you to give it a try and expect miracles, is what Spirit's saying. Expect miracles, because disbelief will block it. So just do it, let it go, and expect miracles. Hey, Constance Messmer here. I just want to do a shout out of big thanks to all the members. I am so grateful. And all the people dropping in and giving little
donations here and there and super thanks and all that stuff. I really appreciate you. You members and you people contributing and subscribers are what helped me bring this content to everyone, really. They both contribute to the cost of production, and I am definitely grateful for that. This stuff is not cheap to put out. Oh my God. Oh my God. So every little bit helps. And I am filled with gratitude that you're stepping up. I am not necessarily a joiner, not usually, but there are environmental issues in other organizations that I do belong to and I contribute to because I like to see them persevere. And I'm hoping you feel the same about this work. I hope you put it into practice in your life. That's another way that you could spread this work and help change our world, which is what I think it ultimately does. As you know, I think if everyone tuned into their soul senses, the world would be a much better place. So when you subscribe, it's a big yes vote for the content, and it helps spread the work across the planet. So when you put the lessons into practice and subscribe and like and share, you help me help you carry the lesson beyond you and me. And I am just really grateful.
Legally speaking, this podcast is presented solely for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for medical diagnosis, treatment, or the advice of a physician, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. You should not use this information to diagnose or treat a health problem or condition. Always check with your doctor. Thank you.